Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praise unto Yahweh Hashem Shai, the one of the three apostles of great millstone. Honest your brothers that be pushing the truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So I was going to do this quick video about the amendment in the U.S. legislation toward nuclear weapons and what's being called the new nuclear arms race, basically throughout the world. And I was going to go through some scriptures to show you what's happening is a result of prophecy that's coming out of the scriptures, and it's gonna basically finish up with the destruction of America, which we know in the Bible as Babylon. Okay, so without much further ado, I'll get into this article. So it says here, U.S. nuclear buildup shows a new arms race has begun. Okay, and this is coming from German foreign minister. It says world safety requires more disarmament initiatives. Okay, foreign minister Singer Gabriel accusing the United States nuclear posture review of endangering Europe. Okay, the decision by the United, and this always, I've been saying this for a little while, how that well, I haven't been saying it. So many people have been saying it, and I've picked up on it, that basically Germany really don't want too much, at least on the face of it. They don't want too much to do with this war that's going to be happening out here that we know as World War III, the War of Armageddon. Okay, it's spoken about within the scriptures. Okay, wherein Babylon is going to be destroyed. So you can see here that the Germans, which are part of the B system, okay, they're part of NATO. They really, on the face of it, at the very least, they don't really into this whole proceedings that U.S. is going about with. Okay, so the decisions by the United States government is to favor a new tactical nuclear weapons shows that the spiral of a new. So let me read this. It says again. It says the decision by the United States government in favor of new tactical nuclear weapons shows that the spiral of a new nuclear arms race is already underway. Okay, so a new nuclear arms race already underway. They basically called that a new, like a Cold War mentality. And you have to remember that NATO was basically set up to basically stop the expansion of the USSR. Okay, the existence of NATO was to stop the expansion of the USSR. So you go along Russia's borders, then you find that it's all NATO countries. That's why they had a big thing about Crimea and Ukraine. Okay, because the Ukrainian peninsula, because those countries were basically divided whether they was going to be a part of NATO or a part of Russia. Okay, and as Russia expands or tries to expand, whether really NATO expand, okay, it's they're saying that it's Russian aggression and this, that, and the third, and as a result, you've had it to where you got a nuclear arms race happening, and that nuclear arms race, we know it's going to end with a big bang, okay, according to the scriptures, and that big bang is going to be World War III, which really the proxy wars of it has already began. Okay, different moves for this world war has already been put in place. Okay, so this is another corroborating article. It says Cold War mentality. China blasts U.S. Nuclear review, which brands Beijing a threat. And why is Beijing considered a threat? Okay, because Beijing has got very good ties and relations with Russia. Okay, so now you're seeing major players being called in. Okay, major players being sided out and sidelined, and the gangs, the members of the gangs are being seen. So one gang being the U.S. and NATO, and another gang being Russia and China. Okay, so it says China has followed Russia in criticizing a recent U.S. government report which describes the two countries as a potential nuclear threat, and that's why you have a new nuclear arms race. Okay, because when you have a nuclear arms race between particular cities, okay, when a nuclear arms race begins, it's with an agenda in mind. Okay, there's a goal in mind. okay? And this goal is being, and the goal is always one person has to have more a nuclear arsenal than the other person. So should a war play out, okay, they've got the upper hand. And as a result, you had a nuclear arms race out there within, Israel and Iran. That's a nuclear arms race. But this one we're talking about here, this is between China, Russia, and the United States and NATO. Okay, and these are big players. We're not talking about isolated areas like Israel and Iran. We're talking about big world major players, and now they're having a nuclear arms race between each other, which is, hey, as far as you're concerned, if you're about these scriptures and you call yourself a spiritual man, then really this is an exciting thing, because when World War III plays out, pursuant to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, okay, which I'll get, okay, when World War III plays out, basically that's the end, okay? World War III and salvation go hand in hand within the scriptures, okay? Because you have to have something to be saved from, okay? So not only that, remember, we're in captivity, we're in slavery right now, okay? So we're the Israelites are being saved out of slavery, okay? And just bear with me a second. Okay, so the Israelites are in slavery right now. Okay, so as Babylon is destroyed, the place of our captivity is destroyed, which is a beautiful thing. And we know after that we're going to be in rulership. So Joel, the 3rd chapter, and the 2nd verse, it says, I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people and my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations, and they have parted my land. So the Lord is going to be doing this. That's what the Lord's doing now. Okay, and this nuclear arms race, this is all a part of the Lord gathering these nations up against each other. Okay, they're being gathered to have war against each other. Okay, and it says, and they have cast loss for my people, meaning they put us into captivity. And then it goes on to say, and they have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine, etc., etc. So let's finish up this article right quick. Try to keep this under 10 minutes. It says there, so here's more trucks. Sorry. Ooh. Okay, so it says Chanley firmly rejected the claim in Washington's latest nuclear posture review, which is the same thing I think we was reading about in the other article. It says that Beijing is engaging in increasingly aggressive behavior, and I'm finding that funny because that's what they always say. Okay, that's what they always say, that you have a target that they want to eliminate, and they'll say that target is behaving aggressively against against America, and then they go up in there, and that country might pose zero threat. The same thing over Iran. Iran hasn't showed no aggressive maneuvers. Afghanistan, Saddam Hussein wasn't moving aggressively against. Saddam Hussein was not in Africa somewhere. Okay, in some country, some foreign country somewhere. Okay, killing children and raping women. Okay, that was America that did that. Okay, that was the United States that did that. Okay, they're the ones that had went out there and pillaged, different people's houses and, raped, robbed, and murdered. This was the United States that did that. But then this is how they always push the agenda. They'll say someone else is acting aggressively, and they'll roll up into that place and take what they want from that place. This is the MO. Okay, this is their MO. This is what they do. Okay, they lie, steal, and then they go in there, steal. And in this case, they're trying to establish their so-called New World Order. So this is the means by which they want to do it with. Chaos. Okay, it says in this the 74-page report, which is the first review of U.S. nuclear policy since 2010, labels China as a major challenge to the U.S. interest in Asia. and that goes to show you that it has nothing to do. Hold on a minute. They just said China is being aggressive, and then it says China is a major threat in Asia. What the hell do you got to do within Asia? That means you're acting aggressively. Okay, because if you don't have no interest in Asia, the United States interest in Asia, you can worry about what China was doing. Okay, so that's the hypocrisy of the democracy that you call the United States. Okay, so let me just hit this other article right quick, finish that up. It says the newly released nuclear posture review refers to the Russian nuclear modernization is one of the reasons to renovate and upgrade the US nuclear arsenal, making them mobile by developing new low-yield nuclear weapons. Again, we're dealing with nuclear weaponry right here. They're not updating, guns and sticks, spears and that. No, this is about ICBMs, man. Okay, mobile ICBMs. Okay, which is going to result in what you know as the lake of fire, 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. Okay, and ultimate destruction of Babylon, Isaiah the 13th chapter. So pretty much with that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. Devil want to see apostles a great millstone. Knowledge of apostles, truth is sincerity. Shalom.